Alright, good morning, Stars. My name is Specialist Roberts, and today my presentation will be over diversity. Why is it important? Before we begin this presentation, I would like to let everybody know that it is an unclassified presentation, meaning it can be used elsewhere and is for your knowledge. Before I get into it, does anybody have any questions? Okay, today's agenda will be the introduction, definition, and meaning of diversity, diversity from a personal perspective, historical data relating to diversity in society and the armed forces, a conclusion, and I will answer any questions that anybody has. Before I begin this presentation, does anybody have any questions? Okay, move forward. One of the things I want to get out of the way before we actually get into it is that everybody has an understanding in the definition of diversity. Diversity is the practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds and of different genders, sexual orientations, etc. What that means is that for us as an organization, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, no matter what your skin color is, and no matter who you call your spouse is, that we are all part of a team in this organization. Okay, part of the introduction, we want to go over Executive Order 9981. So Executive Order 9981 was in place by President Truman. It is a huge factor in today's organization and modern military organizations. It probably would affect not only the military, but society as it stands if it was not implemented. So, Executive Order 9981 was the desegregation of the military across all branches. The goal of this brief is I will display information to the learners being NCOs here, about diversity, its history, its importance, and what it means to us, not only as an organization, but as a people. Before I continue forward, are there any questions at this time? Okay. Okay, diversity from a personal perspective. I chose this topic to brief because it has a special place in my heart because of where I come from. So I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, and what that means for me is most, if not all, of my friends did not share the same skin color, the same God, or the same background that I did. All of my friends were usually from, if not all of them, if all of them were from South America, the Bahamas, Cuba, Latin American countries, Africa, North Africa, and a lot of different places. And I think it's so important to me because the places that I ended up going to school and things like that, I was the only Caucasian male that went to any of my schools. With that being said, it was easy for me to make friends because it didn't matter. I did not see skin color, I didn't see a race, I didn't see religion, I didn't see a sexual orientation. I saw a person, and it made me a lot wiser and a lot smarter as it is today because all of my friends, all of the people I knew, all of the people I worked for, all the people I worked with were different than me. Okay, personal accounts of being raised in a community with opposite culture than my own. What I mean by opposite culture is anything that was not my own. So I grew up in an Italian household, Roman Catholic, when most of my friends were from Cuba and South America. While they did share Catholicism with me, they were very different. The way that their family worked, the way that they worked, the way that they celebrated certain things were a lot different than what I was used to. But it opened up my eyes in that it was easy for me to see and enjoy the benefits that some of these cultures have in terms of learning new things, learning different perspectives, different views, learning how things work in different families and different societies. Furthermore, rewards of diversity. So one of the biggest rewards to me was that when I was younger, I worked on a fishing boat, and the fishing boat happened to be owned by a Jamaican family. And because of their personal experiences and their time growing up in Jamaica, they were able to teach me different tactics and different techniques to be a better fisherman and to make more money and to catch more fish. By the time I was 18, I had my own fishing charter, and I was making a substantial amount of money based on the things that they had taught me that they learned in Jamaica. So that is one of the key objectives here too, is learning from people from different backgrounds on how to do my job correctly, that pertaining to the job that I had growing up. A lot of different jobs that are steeped in different cultures, the people that grew up in these cultures can teach you a thing or two about how to do the job better, how to do it correctly, and how to reap the rewards of that said job. Before I move forward, does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Just a side note, this is a picture from one of the concerts that they had in Miami, Florida, and you can see, based on the picture of this group, that there is no set demographic in that group. Everybody's different, everybody's enjoying what they're doing right now and watching this concert, but nobody is the same. No two people are the same in this picture, whether it means religion, race, color, creed, etc. Okay, moving forward. Diversity's role in modern military. All right. So going back to what we were talking about earlier, which was Executive Order 9981, diversity's role in modern military, if that order was not implemented, our military, our armed services would look a lot different than it does today, and it would probably make society look a lot different than it does today. Okay. Personal accounts of diversity in modern military. So I've spent time overseas and stateside with the United States Army in the 1st Infantry Division, and I think one of the biggest factors in the military is it doesn't matter where you come from or what color your skin is or what you believe. It matters how well of a team player you are. And I thought that was a big thing for me in this presentation, is that we are all treated equally. I guess it says here, we are all treated equally in and outside of uniform. And that's a huge thing to me, because it doesn't matter where you come from here. As a team member, you're treated the same as everybody else, as we all wear the same uniform. It doesn't matter what your skin color is, it doesn't matter what God you believe in, it doesn't matter who you consider your spouse. You are a team member, and you are equal to the person to the left and to the right of you. All right, before I go any further, does anybody have any questions on the slide? Okay, moving forward. Diversity's history in service branches. So prior to Executive Order 9981, implemented by President Truman, the military across all of its branches was segregated by race, which is not the best of things to be doing. So prior to Executive Order 9981, there were regiments of soldiers that were completely African American. There were regiments of soldiers that were completely Caucasian. There were regiments of soldiers that were completely Hispanic. And the difference between now and then is obviously the implementation of incorporating the team incorporating members to the team regardless of that said skin color, that said race, that said religious background. It doesn't matter. That goes over the topic of why Executive Order 9981 is so important to modern military. Challenges with diversity in the Vietnam War. So off to the bottom right here, we have a picture of an African American soldier and a Caucasian soldier in the Vietnam War. The reason that I implemented this into this presentation was because the Vietnam War took place during the Civil Rights Movement, which is a very sensitive time for our country. And while there was racism that was recorded in the United States military at the time, all races, black, white, brown, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. All of our people, all of our soldiers, all of our Marines, all of our sailors, all of our airmen were able to work together as a team to accomplish a common goal. And the reason that this is so substantial to me is because of the gravity of the situation our country was in at the time. So regardless, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Regardless of who you are, where you come from, we are all a team. We all wear the same uniform. Okay, before I move forward, does anybody have any questions? Okay, finally, we're going to go into conclusion. This is, I don't want to read directly off the slide, but this is for, I wrote this as the purpose and the conclusion. The importance of diversity lies in its strength. The men and women of all backgrounds, races, religions, and orientations have built and paved the way for progression and growth inside the organization of the United States military and modern American society, as well as other societies around the globe. Diversity's importance is not limited to bringing different experiences to the table. It allows us to share different values and different cultures, and it demonstrates that no matter how different we may be, we are able to work together as a team to reach a common goal. It is the simplicity of being able to not see a color, a religion, or an orientation, but a person. I made this statement solely based on the fact that I have seen zero judgment in the military, in the Army, or any military branch for that matter, while I've been in. I've never seen any form of racism. I think it's one of the best things in the world, is that the military provides an opportunity for everybody, no matter where you come from, who you call a god, who you consider your spouse. It doesn't matter. You're a member of our team. So, with that being said, any of the data that I put up here, I've cited, and it is in an information reference. Before I move on past the conclusion, do we have any questions about anything previous of the slides? Or anything previously mentioned in the slides, excuse me? No? All right. Okay. So finally, that is my presentation. Does anybody have any questions at this time?